So I wanted to test out whether Pat McGrath was actually worth the hype. I got one of her eyeshadow palettes a little while ago and one of her lipsticks. I haven't got any highlighters or eyeliners or lip liners, and I'm tempted to get the lip liner and contour, but oh, I don't think I can afford that right now. So I got these a little while ago and I have been testing them out, and I want to show you swatches and what this looks like being applied and what my actual thoughts are, if it's actually worth the price. First I'm going to talk about the MTHRSHP palette. This is the MTHRSHP Sublime Bronze Edition. Look at this packaging. I will say her packaging is to die for. It's got like a little elasticated sort of thing that goes around there. So you take that off and then you open the door and you see the lovely girl's face. This is so me. And you open this up and you have a nice big mirror, thick piece of plastic with all the names on it, and the shades. So I got the bronze one. This is the bronze edition. There was a really colourful version, but I knew that I'd get the most use out of this one, and if I'm honest, the amount of money that this is, I needed to make sure that I got use out of this. So the only thing I don't like about this is there's only one matte. This is a matte, this is kind of like a satin, and then these are all shimmers. So I am going to only use this palette just so you could see what you would get. Like I said, you get a nice big mirror, but honestly I feel like there should be another shade in here. That looks like it's breaking. So these are the swatches. This one is a little bit crumbly. This is the only shade I kind of have an issue with, but the rest of them are super pigmented. The shimmer swatch a lot better. Like I said, this one crumbles. You can see, but I've got like black now in here, and I've already like blown this away. That's great. I'm going to scooch you guys in. I can apply the eyeshadows. I am going to put on a headband because it annoys people when my fringe is in the way. Don't mind the little tassels. I'm actually going to put eyeshadow primer on first before I forget, because I do that with all my eyeshadows, and I'm going to use the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer in Eden. I go between this eyeshadow primer and my Wet n Wild one, so I'm just going to apply a bit of that. If it's flashing, I'm really sorry. I don't know if I can fix that, but I'll try in a second. So I'm just going to set my eyeshadow with just a loose face powder to make sure it's not sticky. Obviously I don't have a transition to go into because this is the only matte shade. So I'm going to grab a fluffy brush, my e.l.f. fluffy eye blender brush. I'm going to go into this and I'm going to show you me going into it. So not really any fallout, but a decent amount of product. There's no going in light with these, unfortunately. You just have to go in. 3 dips in this pan to get it to this sort of pigmentation, and I think that's really good. Like I said, I would have loved a lighter shade. I'm then going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to use one of these dual-sided Eco Tools brushes. I'm going to use obviously the flat shader side, and I'm going to use this shade here. Oh, I forgot to tell you what the shades were even called. So the one I went in with first was Throwing Shade, and then this one is Illicit. You can see how much, I mean, you don't need much, but this one is the dustiest, and I thought it was the most disappointing shade. But you can see it's kind of like shimmery, so if it was like a matte shade, I feel like this would look better. Just gonna kind of like blend that through the crease a tiny bit, just so that it connects. Just a tiny bit of the Throwing Shade and blend over the top of that. And then I'm just gonna deepen both sides just a tiny bit more. And do the same on the other side. I'm getting quite a bit of fallout. I have been like tapping this off as well, so next I'm actually going to go in with a bit of concealer. I'm just going to take a tiny bit of this Lasting Perfection concealer by Collection. So I've just got this like flat brush from Primark. Take a bit of that off of the concealer wand. Doesn't matter what concealer it is as long as it's concealer. I just want something for this to stick to. I've been using this technique a lot. You'd be surprised how much more pigment sticks to your lid and you don't get so much fallout. Okay, and then I'm going to take this shade, which is one of my favourites, Copperized. And look at that. I'm just going to place that on my lid. Look at that. To take a little bit of Thrown shade and blend. So I've still got quite a bit of fallout on my face that doesn't want to move, so I'm going to take another powder brush. It's just some loose powder. We're just going to carry on as if it's not there. I'm going to take this little PS one again, and I'm going to take this brown shade, which is the Thrown shade. Why do I fluff over everything? Under my lower lash line. You really don't need a lot. If you want cheap pencil brushes or even like crease brushes, these like Primark ones will do you fine. Concentration face. Okay, and then I'm going to go really close to the lower lash line with the Illicit shade. Illicit, yep. Using this NYX number 10 brush, which is just like a flat brush, I'm going to use this shade here, which is called Guilt Trip, and put this on my inner corners and on my brow bone. Because that's just like really gold, I'm actually going to go in with my face highlight, which is the Urban Decay Afterglow 8-Hour Powder Highlighter in Sin. A little lighter, I just want something a bit lighter in there as well. Okay, and then I'm going to use my NYX Très Gel Liner Pencil in brown and put that on my upper and lower lash line. Okay, so I'm going to put some mascara on, zoom you out, and I'll be right back. So, overall, I think this palette is stunning. The only one I have a problem with is this one. Like I said, it would be nice just to have like a lighter shade or just like a different transition. Even if it was a black or something like that, I just feel like having a Pat McGrath black would be amazing. Do think if you wanted to dabble in Pat McGrath shadows that this is a great alternative rather than spending something stupid like £80 on 10 eyeshadows. I don't think it's worth it, but for something like this that I feel like everyone would use on a daily basis, these are really, really good. And if you want to choose between Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona, I would say that this is probably worth it compared to a Natasha Denona palette, especially considering I've heard that her eyeshadows, they definitely expire and they expire really quickly, so just something to keep in mind. Okay, so I then have the Pat McGrath Labs Lipstick Crayon Love, says Levres. This is in the shade LaBeija. Yeah, I don't know, there you go, you can read that. This is the shade. Don't think this is the matte ones, which is a shame, but I really like this colour and it was so special that I had to get it. It was also a brand new one, so this is a little bit different from the other one, but you twirl it off like that, open it like that, and then you've got your Pat McGrath signature lipstick. I do keep it in its box because I love the box, and also, you know, if I'm spending something like $38 on a lipstick, I'm keeping every single component. So this is what it looks like. Very sleek. It's simple, but I love this. This is so cool. You open it up, and then if you twist it by the bullet, it goes up straight and down straight. If you twist it by the bottom, the whole thing twists. I like doing it like that. I think it's really satisfactory to see it like that. This is the shade that I got, and it's like a really lovely peachy nude kind of shade. I'm just gonna apply this. You don't get a mirror in this, which, you know, the amount of money you spend, you probably should. I do feel like it's 2 swipe coverage and not 1, but I really should have lip scrubbed my lips first. So this is what the lipstick looks like on. It's super comfortable, it's not matte. I think this is one of like the satin finishes instead. I feel like it really goes with the copperized shade on the eyes, and I think it's so stunning. Honestly, if you want one of the specific shades that she has, then definitely go for it. But I would definitely say you don't need all of them. The amount of lipsticks I pick up over this, because this is so expensive and I don't want to run out of it too soon. I also don't want to have it go bad, so I don't want to not pick it up. So I feel guilty every single time I don't pick it up, but I don't want to just wear it on a daily basis. I know it sounds stupid, things like this. You kind of think, well, if I'm going to spend that much, it should be something I use every day, and if you want to use this stuff every day, definitely do it. But I just think that I end up holding myself back and I don't do it, and that's really, really stupid considering the amount of money I spent on these two products. So in conclusion, is it worth the hype? The lipstick, like I said, I didn't get the matte ones. I feel like I should have got a matte one, but I really, really like this shade, and I feel like I don't have this, but it goes so well with this eyeshadow palette that I think these two together is brilliant. Do I think that this eyeshadow palette is worth the price? It probably could be about £20 cheaper, but then even like Anastasia shadows I think are a little bit overpriced, but that's just my opinion. If you really want one of these for Christmas or something like that, I would say definitely ask for like a voucher or something. So is it worth the hype? Yes, in some circumstances, like the packaging, the formula, yes. The price, I don't know. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did, subscribe if you feel like it. I try to post at least 2 times a week. My schedule has been a little bit haywire recently. People who have been supportive on Twitter, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That is all for this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!